Hello everyone and welcome to the Movie Fanatics. My name is Brannock. Crap. Guess what I did? Musicals! You know musicals, the ones with the music. I like musicals. Can't always tell if I'd rather watch a play or a musical, but there are arguments that can be made for both. Musicals are great, and I was in one. Camp Rock the Musical. The story of a summer camp of music. Wow. The musical is, of course, based off of the Disney Channel film Camp Rock. I'm sorry, no it's not. It's based off of the sequel, Camp Rock 2, The Final Jam. When I auditioned, I hadn't even heard of Camp Rock. Now you're gonna tell me there's a sequel? I auditioned in January and we performed it a few weeks ago. Isn't 2020 fun? I was cast as a camp rocker. I was in an ensemble. I wasn't expecting anything more than an ensemble because this was only my second show. I also auditioned for The Sound of Music and I got in. But I chose to be in Camp Rock because as an ensemble member, I'd be on stage most of the time and I get to play my banjo in the show. Yeah, that's right. I remembered little to nothing about early rehearsals, aka pre-pandemic. We were supposed to do the show in March, but the virus hit like a week before we were supposed to perform it. Let's start from the beginning. So picture this. It's January 2020. Back when if someone said the word corona to me, I'd go, I'm not old enough to drink. So it was day one, first rehearsal, and that means, shout it out if you know it, sitting in a circle and reading the script. So I got my script. Okay. Page 1. Page 3, page 5, what? So you know how when you turn a page, the next page is there? I didn't have that. The backs of my pages were blank. I had to look off of the person next to me. Good start. Rehearsals were going well, but I'm gonna be honest, I can't dance. I can sing pretty well, I guess, but I can't dance. So when dancing was on the menu, I was sad. We started by choreographing the first song, Brand New Day, and I actually really liked dancing this one. The choreography was simple. But that doesn't mean I could dance. I mean, this was my first time ever dancing. Ever. The first show I did was Nicholas Nickleby, and that was a play. But I was still having a lot of fun at rehearsals. I wanted to go back every day. And one fateful day, it happened. I was put in Camp Star. How could this be? I'm a bad guy now? That meant I get cut from all the numbers except 3. Fire, It's On, and Tear It Down. I was so bummed out. Now I'm barely in this thing. But it turns out I actually got promoted, I guess. I would still be in all the Camp Rock songs, except now I'd be in the Camp Star songs as well. And that's about all I can remember from the early rehearsals. I was having fun, there was a couple of friends from school in the show, and it was shaping up to be my favorite show so far. Then one day, one of the cast members sent a text to the Camp Rock group chat saying that the coronavirus was now a pandemic. Yeah, but who cares? It's not a big deal. Next rehearsal, we ran through the show. It was great. We were ready. We were going to do it in a week or two. A week or two. But at the end of the rehearsal, somebody asked the director what the plan for the virus was. I don't remember what was said. It doesn't really matter. And I kid you not, the very next day, school was delayed for 3 weeks. Then the show was, along with school. I had a mandatory school event the night of the show. That was honestly the biggest concern on my mind at the time. More time passed and school and the show were delayed indefinitely. But we tried to have rehearsals over Zoom. What? I don't know how they expected that to work, but it didn't, and rehearsals were delayed until late July, early August. It was May. So over the summer, I kinda sorta rehearsed my dances, but not really. I just kinda assumed the show was canceled. But early August rolls in the door, and we figure out that the show is on. It's gonna be pre-recorded. And there was gonna be no ensemble singing, it was gonna be lip-synced. And if you were in Camp Star, you'd be exclusively in the Camp Star scenes. So I had a choice to either leave the show or stay and help reconstruct it. Did I stay? Nope. Thanks for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one. This is Brannock from the Movie Fanatics, signing off. We done? Oh, I did stay? Okay, so I walked into my first rehearsal, and my gosh, I forgot how awkward I was. I mean, I've always been this way, but this was worse. Now, I might seem pretty extroverted in these videos, but that's because I'm just talking to a camera. If there was a person in the room, these would be so uncomfortable to watch. I'm totally gonna film a video with someone in the room and see if anyone notices. No, I'm not. So basically, I went from to rehearsals were happening every day, but the cast was split up and I was only there on the days with Camp Star people, since we couldn't have everyone else in the building. And right off the bat, where did everybody go? There were like a dozen people in Camp Star originally. Now we had 7, and that includes Tess, who defects to our side halfway through the show. There would be 6 people during Fire. Quite a few people left the show due to the virus, including everyone from my school. Now I really have no one to talk to. A few of the named characters had to be recast, including Lexi Williams, the star of Camp Star. So the first rehearsal went pretty well. We did Fire, and I'm glad I wasn't the only one who didn't know what I was doing. We pretty much had to re-choreograph the whole song, and that pretty much happened to all the songs in the show. That's swell. I think it would be funny if we'd kept the original version of Fire and there would just be empty spaces where people were supposed to go, but whatever, we can re-choreograph it. This went on for 2 weeks, and Camp Star really only has 2 songs, but rehearsals were an hour long and we went twice a week, so it's understandable. But then came the real start to the start because we could have full cast rehearsals. They were 3 hours long. I don't know why that was such a big deal to me at the time. Like, what else was I gonna do? The only thing I really remember about the first 2 rehearsals is that I got to practice singing. So how it would work is that there would be mic people in the back of the room who would sing while a musical number happened on stage, and the dancers would lip sync. Smart. I'm glad I have something to do now. Now, I haven't gotten a haircut since Christmas, so it's a little long. And something that I remember is that the actress for Mitchie, the main character, said, "Oh, that's Brannock. I didn't recognize you because your hair was so long." How did she know my name? I never talked to anyone. That's an exaggeration. That's an exaggeration. I, of course, talked to the people from my school, and I was already friends with some people from Nickleby, and I was talking to new people from this show. But I'm really awkward. I really need to get that out of the way. So rehearsals were going really well. I was having fun, and I wanted to go back every day. And conveniently enough, I got to. But there was always one thing on my mind. See, when we were backstage, a bunch of the Camp Star crew would go into a room backstage. And, like, who else was I going to talk to? All the people I normally hung around with were on stage because they were in Camp Rock. How hard could it be to just walk in, say hi, and start a conversation? Very hard. Very hard is the answer. Every time we went backstage, I was like, this is it. This is the one. I can do this. I didn't. I'm in a new show now, and I'm having a way easier time of talking to people. So maybe I'm getting better at it. But at that time, I sucked. Also, back when everything was normal, some people from Camp Star had to be cut from the fight song thing, appropriately named It's On, my favorite song from Camp Rock that contains the word bop. So a bunch of Camp Star people were cut, because you can't fit all of Camp Star and the same number of Camp Rock people on stage at one time for a dance number. At the time, I didn't care because, I was already in the other songs. But now that I'm only in Camp Star, I had the potential to be in 3, and I was only in 2. And it doesn't matter at all, and I don't care anymore, but at the time it was a bummer. But I got to be in the Nate and Dana love song called Introducing Me, my favorite song from Camp Rock that contains the phrase, "I really like it when the moon looks like a toenail." My job was to bring out a table so Nate and Dana could eat and then bring it off like 12 seconds later. And I was instructed to stand there and go like, "Aw, they're cute." So I just kind of stood there like that and smiled, but I always felt like I was playing a guy who really just wanted his table back. While we're on the subject, there's a part during Fire where they told us to strike a pose. And back then, they told me to stand with my arms crossed, kind of like this. And I did that. And one of the cast members said I looked like a butler. So he's called me Butler ever since. And that's supported by the fact that I literally set a table during the show. And before I knew it, it was Tech. We got our Camp Star costumes back in March, and I was finally reunited with mine. Tech was great, but I figured out that I wasn't going to be mic'd when I was singing in the back. We didn't have enough mics. I mean, I still did it anyway. So the last song of the show was going to be recorded with all of our voices, and I got to record my part a few days beforehand, and we got to listen to it. Let's talk about it. Nothing against the guy who came to record and edit the whole thing. He did a terrific job. He was great. Look, everyone in the cast could sing, but during the last song, there's a few duets with the main characters we've come to know and love. But everyone was recorded individually, and it's hard to sing well with another person when you can't hear them. And all that really boiled down to was someone would hold a note way longer than the other person. This is our summer, and this is our song. And there's nothing you can really do about that. I also got to have a line in the last scene. See, when all the camp rockers are sitting around the campfire, the camp star people emerge from the bushes and go like, hey, can we sing too? We're sorry. And Tess goes, I don't suppose you have room for one more. And I say, or two? And I didn't have that line before then, so that was fun.
I checked the script, and apparently I've been playing Star Camper 1 this entire time. I'm gonna tell that to my grandkids.
But there was still one thing to do. Get into the Camp Star room place. And guys, I did it. And I just kind of awkwardly stood there, occasionally talking. It was good. I just kind of kept going in there whenever they went backstage, and it worked, because what are they going to say? Get out? One of the nights of tech, everyone was in there after we finished because we ended 15 minutes early and had 15 minutes to kill, and there are cubbies in the room that can be used for whatever. We also had one chicken prop that was used for one throwaway gag at the beginning of the show. And like all intelligent beings, we made a game out of trying to throw the chicken into the cubby holes. I was going to go for extra style points and hit the chicken off the trash can into the cubbies. But my aim is worse than the Star Wars prequels, and it went right into the trash can. And I felt kind of bad, but then one of the cast members did the exact same thing, and I felt better. That same person also tried to whack the chicken into the cubby with a cane and almost decapitated me. I ducked in time. It was pretty funny. The day of shooting finally came, and it was great. One weird thing, though, they told us to pause after every dance number like you would if it was live, for people to clap. But no one was clapping, and it was awkward. Also, Camp Star wins the big competition. I didn't mention that. It's 'cause we're better. And that was it. We only needed to record it once, so we only got to perform it once. It was sad because I didn't get that same sadness that you get after closing night. It was still, it's opening night! I mean, I wasn't wrong, but it stung because this was the first and last time we would ever get to perform it. But fast forward a week later and I'm watching the live stream. This blows. That's not really fair. The performance itself was fine. It was the technical problems that made it not fun to watch. The sound and mics, oh god, they were the anti-good. They were always off when they were supposed to be on, and some people were way louder than others. I watched it with my family, and I could tell that I was the only one who knew what people were saying. Because you couldn't tell what they were saying. And some camera shots were weird. There were scenes where the leads would be out on stage singing, and you couldn't see them. They were out of frame. My favorite example of this is that there's a scene where Tess and Lexi are gossiping about Camp Rock. They're on the side of the stage, and there's a spotlight on them. But the cameras were pointed at center stage, and you couldn't see who was talking. I had to explain to the people around me what was going on. I can just imagine people at home going, who's talking? Why are the lights off? But to wrap things up, because this script is 7 pages long, this show is great. I definitely liked it more than Nickelby, and after being in a musical, I don't think I'm going back to plays. That's right, I'm a musical man now. This has been my favorite show that I've done so far, and a memory I won't soon forget. I give it 5 camp stars out of 5. I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody, and get ready to see more infrequent uploads from us because schools are revving up. It's not like we're quitting or anything, we're not leaving anytime soon, but it'll be more like once every 1 or 2 weeks. I'm gonna try to do a video every weekend by myself. Brayden might have his own plans, but for now, for me, it's gonna be once every 1 or 2 weeks. Don't worry, I'm gonna go back to making videos about movies. I'm thinking of doing a ranking of the Spider-Man films or a review of The Mandalorian before Season 2 comes out. And Brayden is working on a Blu-ray collection video, sequel to the one about his DVD collection, which you should go watch. Other than that, I don't think there's a lot to talk about. Thank you for watching. This is Brannock from the Movie Fanatics, signing off.